What is up, guys? Hello.
Welcome to our live stream.
Welcome. No mouth on it. No mouth.
Yeah, they don't like it. They don't like the Marc ASMR.
Guys, wait to post your shops until we get started because the chat moves super duper fast. So if you've already posted it, just wait and you'll be able to resubmit it. If this is your first time joining, which I see that for a lot of you it is, welcome.
Welcome.
What we do for these shop critiques is we have you guys enter your shop names and we'll show you exactly what we need in the chat, not your full URL because YouTube will block that. And then we will be choosing them completely randomly. And we're doing these for the Save the Children Foundation, which we've been running this charity now for the last, I think, 4 weeks. I already see that somebody donated. We're up to $319. So this is great because they are helping the children over in Turkey and Syria after the earthquakes. They're also helping in Ukraine, helping the children over there. So we don't see any of that money. It goes straight to them. Please consider donating, though it doesn't increase your odds that you're going to get a shop critique. It's one of the reasons that we do these shop critiques, which also I need to bring up the point to like be cool. We always have a few buttheads who email me because I'm mad.
You should pick new shops.
I'm mad.
We don't know if they're new shops until we open them.
Exactly. These are completely random. There's no, criticism for level of experience. We do check the shop to make sure that there's nothing inappropriate that we can't show on YouTube.
And in a couple of minutes, I will be posting the word go, and I won't be doing any shops prior to when I say go in the chat. We'll give it a couple minutes before I actually post it so people hear that rule.
Yes.
And the newbies get a chance. And I do want to apologize in advance if there's any clicking and clacking from me eating cough drops. I am still recovering from COVID. I'm COVID free now. I feel a lot better, but I'm still coughing and all that kind of nastiness. So
yes.
Apologies in advance.
All right, so we're going to do as many as we possibly can, but please remember that even if we do not pick your shop, there is so much that you can learn because we've been doing these critiques now for 5 years. You can go back on my channel. I've got a whole playlist of just our past critiques. And when you watch enough of them, you'll realize that we almost always give the exact same advice over and over again. It's very rare that we get a shop where there's something all new that we've never seen before.
Occasionally. There's something new.
But most of the time, if you watch our shop critiques enough, you'll just kind of be able to look at your own shop and realize, Starla would tell me to fix this, or Starla would recommend that I change that. So, just hang out, let's have fun. Before we get started, make sure that you check the links down in the video description. We've got our free Etsy SEO toolkit. That's the SE Oodles, and it's got little ramen noodle emoji. If you struggle with SEO, that is completely free. It's going to come with pretty much everything you need to learn SEO, learn how Etsy's algorithm works, and start researching your keywords. There is a 30-day Instagram challenge down there. You can start that anytime. It's not like a set 30 days. It's whenever you want to start. But that tells you when to post your marketing posts on Instagram, the types of marketing posts to create. It gives you a bunch of tips. It gives you a list of prompts if you need ideas for things to post. So be sure to grab that. There's a bunch of other freebies down there. There's a 2023 Etsy marketing calendars if you need help planning your marketing. And a bunch of other things that I can't even remember, but they're all linked down there. So look for the little emojis. There's a bunch of little emojis.
Yes. Go ahead and get our sample shop up. That way I can show them what to send.
All right. Pick us a sample shop. You want
to
Amber Marie Studio?
Sure. It's the first one there, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I have a tendency to punch the mic. That's not it at all. I don't know who that is.
So, give us 1 second and we will show you exactly what you need to paste into the chat. You do not want to take your URL, no www, no .com. YouTube will block your comment.
It just goes straight to this when I type that in.
That's fine. Just pull up a random Etsy shop. It don't matter. There you go. There's one of hers.
There.
Okay.
Good Lord.
Give us 1 second and we will screen share for you.
Etsy going to be Etsy today.
Okay. You ready?
Okay. Yeah. Let me make sure my screen share is working. It is. Okay. So guys, we need this. Don't post it yet, please. But we need this.
No spaces.
This here. And if that's too confusing, you can also do the thing here. /shop/ your shop name. Everything before the question mark, after the slash, after shop.
Yep, just your shop names. And this is completely random.
And yes, somebody had asked if it's any kind of shop. It's any kind of shop, as long as it's not like riding the line of YouTube terms of service.
Yeah, I mean, if you sell certain, there are some 18 plus products that we can't show on the screen.
If it goes in a body, it's probably not cool here.
That's perfect, unless it's earrings.
Yeah.
They go in a body.
Unless it's earrings of things that go in a body. Also not okay.
Okay.
You guys get the point. We're all adults here. We're all adults here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and post go. I literally... All right. Well, I'm going to post go. Anything before that is not getting a...
Okay.
There you go.
There you go. All right.
I use that as a milestone. And for those of you who don't know, what I do is I just scroll with my mouse wheel. I put it over on this screen so I can't see it, and I click and drag. And the first shop or the closest thing to it to get highlighted is the one that I will pick. Holy crap.
It is completely random.
And keep in mind, this usually gets up to about 400 people. So I usually will do 2 shops and then have people resubmit. So if you don't get your chance right away, don't feel bad.
Yeah, that way if the chat gets super duper loaded, we can kind of resubmit. So just
only post once.
Oh yeah.
If I see more than one post, I'm just going to ignore.
Yep.
Just keep it fair.
Yep. No spamming your shop.
Yeah.
Until we tell you to resubmit it. We will tell you to resubmit after a while.
Spammers get the ban hammer.
Can you tell that we're exhausted? I've
been recovering from COVID for 2 weeks and I'm still not totally there yet.
These bags under my eyes are designer. All right.
What a joke.
You ready?
Oh, have you gone forward an hour?
Yeah.
Yes, we have.
You guys haven't yet though, right? You're not in daylight savings time yet.
And eventually we'll stop doing this silliness. Song and dance.
All right, you got a shot?
All right, now I'm going to go up to the top, do the top half first. Holy crap.
Okay. All right. Hello, darling. Hello. He's scrolling. Random scrolling.
Random scrolling.
I don't know. When I move my mouse wheel like up and down, it doesn't go. When he does it, it's like it shoots up and it shoots down.
I got big finger. I can scroll super far.
Yeah.
I'll usually do like 2 down, 1 up, 2 up. I do it totally random.
Okay.
I wish there was a better way to do this, but the only other way that we realistically could do this is by utilizing Super Chat, and I really don't want people to pay for shop critiques because I don't want to do paid shop critiques.
Yeah, it's yeah.
And I also won't tell you if we can't find your shop, because sometimes it happens where your shop name just doesn't pull your shop up. But this one worked. Well, it didn't work. I had to Google it. But
ready? Okay, shop number 1.
Shop number 1. Here we go. All right, we are in the corner. We're functioning. We're live.
We have Amy. I know you, Amy. I know Amy. I love how when we have random shop critiques, but then occasionally I will know exactly whose shop it is. It's crazy. Okay, so Amy,
Officer's all yours.
Amy, I don't think I've ever actually been in your shop before, which is crazy because I've known you forever. I feel like I have. So the first thing that I notice is that your banner, it's got a really weird balance to it. I can tell that you've kind of done it up for Easter and it looks cute. It's a little bit blurry, not too much. It definitely isn't what I would consider crisp, but I think that the blurriness, it could be overlooked. I don't think that anybody is going to be that critical of it, but I think that the main thing is that there's
a stark contrast to it.
There's a weird, I'm not liking the balance of the tiny bunny and then the giant egg over on the left. I'm just not getting a lot about your brand from it. I'm not saying that you need to express exactly what you sell from your banner because, great branding it can stand on its own, but I'm just not getting a lot of feeling. I think that there's a lot that you could do with maybe some of your products and trying to maybe get a really artistic view, because I can tell that your products are wood laser cut pieces. So maybe even lining them up in a unique way. I do love that you have your VIP club front and center. That is awesome. It looks like you have optimized your tagline with some keywords, so that's fantastic.
Blanks and supplies for crafters.
Your photos are really nice though. They're relatively cohesive. There's a couple backgrounds that don't, they kind of stick out, but not so much that it's a distraction.
I like it. I don't have any problem with it.
I can see exactly what you sell. Everything looks super nice, super duper clean.
The sense of depth is easy to understand. I can kind of tell how big the products are to an extent. A couple of them I have, like the key. I have no idea how big these keys are, but I can kind of get an idea based on the boxes of how big they are.
So let's take,
good.
And it looks like you've got a lot of sales. So since these are kind of a supply that people might use for their own crafts, I'm going to assume that you probably have some great repeat buyers. Okay, so you know what I'm going to say already. I'm sure that, Amy, you've watched plenty of these critiques. You need to get your photos in here. Remember, this all plays into your ranking. Etsy tells us that shop completion and things like having a thoroughly filled out about section contribute to your search ranking. You don't have photos in here. I want to see photos of you creating your product. I want to see photos of your story. You're telling your story here, but I want to see the illustrations that really capture what your story is about and what your brand is all about. So you've got some FAQs filled out. You've got your shop members section. You could fill out a little bit of your details here. I think that we have the option to put like a sentence about ourselves and
tell us
our
a little
role
about yourself.
So let's go ahead and I'll assume that all of the Celtic ones you listed for St. Patrick's Day. So I'm going to assume that they're probably some of the most recent. So I'll just grab one of those. For leaf clover, okay. Laser cut.
I'm just making everything.
Okay. I'll be honest. I would buy something like this for my own crafting purposes. But I would not think to search for any of these. I would never be able to, I might totally be willing to buy one, but I wouldn't know to search any of these terms. So you might want to simplify a little bit of the terminology and try to hit some easier keywords. Are they made out of wood?
They're MDF.
MDF?
Yeah, wood compress.
I would try to get the term wood in here as well somewhere. I understand that it's not traditionally like wood. It's not like the wood that you're using for your background. But for the general populace who's probably purchasing your product, wood might be, just moving forward with future listings might be a term that you would want to.
I would make sure to keep MDF in there as well, though, because people get pretty upset when they see wood and then they receive MDF. Right.
You could even say, wood composite to kind of, express. Yeah. So it looks like you've got your photos in here. That's fantastic. Like I said, you could probably get a couple additional keywords in here by, talking about it being wood. But overall, I don't feel like I have too many critiques. I would really, where is her shop? Why does it? Etsy is rearranging again.
I think, honestly, I agree. Dulcie said the grayish background you're using for your product photos would look nice for your banner. I agree. A nice kind of maybe zoomed out photo with a few different cuts layered over each other in a tasteful way. I don't mind the logo in the middle. I think for somebody who laser cuts stuff, I think the logo here in the middle is perfect.
Yeah.
But you could do a better job of advertising who you are up there for sure.
And
you have the ability to print anything here. So
now I'm assuming that you're receiving the finished product, right? And not just a file to print. Is it the finished product, or are you getting, somebody had brought that up?
Craft kit.
No. Okay. So you are getting the actual product. Yeah. Yeah. I think that, trying to carry over this nice brown, because I think that this brown from your background, that becomes part of your branding, right? So you could totally use the darker banner and then be able to kind of incorporate lighter elements. And Tina in the chat had previously said a few minutes ago, there's just a big combination of thick lines and thin lines, and it just kind of takes away from the balance. So
too many different things. It's hard to focus on exactly what I'm supposed to be looking at when I see it.
But
Other than that,
right. Amy,
nothing striking.
you obviously have a lot of sales, and I can definitely assume that you've probably got a lot of repeat buyers who want to purchase items to make crafts with for all holidays. So, don't do anything that's going to upset your existing audience, but there are little things that I think that you could fine tune. So
I'm gonna go ahead and pick one
all
more
right.
somewhere, start in the middle.
All right.
Again, apologies in advance if you're just joining in here. I'm still recovering from COVID, so I got to keep a cough drop in my mouth. If it sounds like I'm chewing candy, that's not what I'm doing.
I had all the COVID symptoms.
Never tested positive.
But every test came back negative. I treated myself as if I had it, though, because
Kid only had it for like 2 days.
Yeah, I did not want to risk giving it to anybody. But
looks like it worked. Yeah. And I drove like one town over on, was it Tuesday?
Yeah.
And almost couldn't make it home because I was still so sleepy. I'm like, it's been 7 days. Anyway. All right. Shop number 2.
All right. I love these photos. So nice and clean. I normally love to see your branding up on your banner, but honestly, I think that it looks really nice. And I especially like that I see purple here and purple here. I would almost like to see you put more purple up top. I would almost like to see all of the jewelry in purple. That's not going to make anybody think that you only sell purple jewelry, but it will really, really
resonate.
Yeah, it kind of helps to reinforce those branding colors a little bit, especially since they're seeing them here. Lucky for you, star seller badges are purple too, so you get even more little purple spots. So let's take a scroll down because I have no critiques for these photos. Love it. This is why I tell you guys to do listing videos. If I'm scrolling around and I'm like doing this and then my mouse stops and the picture
I'm like,
starts
oh, wait
moving,
a minute. That was something there.
Yeah, it makes you stop. It makes you excited to check it out. These are really, really nice creative uses for your big feature sections. This is from Etsy Plus. If those of you who always ask me, is Etsy Plus worth it? It's worth it if you're, if you want the aesthetic elements. It's not going to result in like more sales or traffic, but.
And this person's got 20,000 sales, not doing too shabby.
Awesome. Awesome.
Great
photos.
Yeah, I like it. I like the textured background. I think that's a good, especially having the chains and the cords and everything. It's a way to make the textures on the cords and things pop a little bit more.
I would honestly, maybe you're updating your photos, but I would like to see these photos on a similar background.
Yeah.
Or
the other way around. The mix match is what throws things off.
Yeah, I really like these backgrounds are beautiful, but then we start getting down here and the purple feels a little amateur and the white looks good, but I actually like the naturalness of these photos a little bit more.
Robert, we showcase people by complete randomness, looking at shops that are advanced and shops that are new. Both have their benefits.
Yep. It's
don't be a stinker.
Yep. It's completely random. Completely. We have to keep it fair, and we can't click through 100 shops to find,
No, we don't have that kind of time.
All right. So once again, about section photos, make sure that you get those in there. Tell your story. You've told it here, but use photos to tell your story. Okay. Let's go ahead. And I'm going to assume that these are newer listings that you're it looks like you're working on your photos. Like you're trying to, you're trying to work on things and improve things. So I'll grab one of these. Lots of great photos. These look fantastic. Very clean. Oh, and I love this, guys. These are things that, like I said, you can learn a lot by looking at some of these bigger shops. You guys always want us to pick shops that don't have as many sales, but learn from the shops that are doing well. Start writing things down, getting pictures of your packaging so that your customers know how their products will arrive, especially if they're purchasing a gift. If they're purchasing a gift for someone, they might want to know how it's going to arrive at their doorstep, especially if they're having it delivered directly to them. So things like this are very important trust building elements that can really, really increase the perceived value of your product. But overall, really nice photo.
Yeah.
I love that you have 2 units of measure here. You have a precise unit of measure and an imprecise unit of measure. That way people know exactly how big their product is going to be.
Oh, yeah.
Overall, I think that I'm assuming that you're just currently kind of trying to do some cleanup. But I think that your products look really nice.
Yeah.
I didn't look at your keywords here. Tiger's eye necklace. Tigers. Okay, so
tigers.
tiger's eye, tiger eye.
Etsy can recognize plural versus singular.
Right. So two newbie mistakes here for your SEO. You do not need to repeat tiger's eye over and over again. Okay. You only need it in there once. You're not getting extra brownie points. If you want to, exact match for some terms, that's fine. You don't need to exact match.
Nobody's searching for adjustable tiger eye, like real adjustable tiger eye gemstone choker with yeah. I mean, there's so many ways that you could word this that you don't have to repeat. You could still get all your exact matches in here, especially with something like this. Almost a description would be enough for something like this.
Yes. So get rid of, I mean, don't touch anything that's selling well. That's our big rule of Etsy SEO, right? But if you've got listings that aren't selling, if you have listings that you're going to be listing in your shop, as new products, for anything that you list in the future, you do not need to repeat all of those keywords. It looks like a big jumble. It reminds me of eBay. Every once in a while, you'll find 2 just amazing exact match phrases while doing your keyword research with eRank, and you'll really want to get both of those in there. That's fine if you want to exact match for those phrases to get them both in there, but there's no reason to say tiger's eye, 5 or 6 times in a title. And for those of you who are just joining us, make sure that you go down in the video description. If you're on mobile, you'll have to close the live chat out. There is a free Etsy SEO toolbox in there. And if you don't already have an eRank membership, you can sign up for a free 30-day trial of any of the paid plans. 30 days is like enough to really, really get a lot of work done in your shop, especially if you're newer. So consider checking that out if you haven't already. And just a heads up, that's not like an affiliate link. I'm a manager at eRank. I don't also get paid to recommend it.
No, we don't. We've been recommending it for a lot longer than we've been working for them.
All right. Are we ready?
We are. I have the next shop. That was easy.
Kelly.
Here we go.
Hello, Kelly.
And here's your new shop.
Okay. Kelly. This photo is great. This photo is great. This photo is great. This right here, this section
throws the whole thing off.
Get rid of this. We don't need this. And this is a, hey, Tina, what's the name of this font? I don't remember what the name of this font is, but this is one of the fonts that's on the list of fonts that everybody hates. I can't remember the name of it, but it's one of those fonts that you're not supposed to use. Just like everybody knows, don't use Comic Sans. Don't use this font, whatever this font name is.
Andrea said these listings sell well, and I'm afraid to touch.
Don't touch.
Yeah, don't touch anything that's performing. That's the golden rule. No matter what we say here, if it's performing well, don't touch it.
Yep, don't jinx it. You've already built a listing quality score with the titles that you have. Okay, so you don't want to mess anything up. But what I said was in the future, when you list new products, if you have listings that aren't already selling, start reducing the use of the exact same keywords. I
said, where's the list of fonts everyone hates? Just Google fonts to not use.
Fonts everyone hates, and you'll get a huge list of fonts to never use for anything ever.
Chalkboard, brush something. It's not Comic Sans, but it's too close. Yeah. Anyway, that's enough on that critique. Yeah, that's not necessary there. I mean, if you were to be able to find a way to like put your welcome to like on the wall in a natural way, I guess. But
not to mention, I don't need you to tell me that you sell art, photography, vintage posters, digital papers, printable gift. I can go. That's what your shop.
One little scroll.
Yeah, you don't need to tell me that. Get a logo in here. Your logo, it's pretty cool. I think that you could probably find a cool way to incorporate it into your banner as well. But get rid of all this.
Because I like the vintage style art. Like,
yeah,
that's dope.
And I will say that the style that I'm seeing in all of these, your logo is not, this feels like an architecture company or something that feels
corporate.
Right. It feels corporate, something made of steel. It's very edgy, and your art is very whimsical. I really think that you could get a logo that better expresses this really fun vintage, almost whimsical feel.
Perfect
So,
idea. Use the fonts that are in the posters on your banner.
yeah.
That vintage,
Yeah. Awesome.
that Italian play ad kind
Right.
of font. I don't know what that font's called, but
Right. That would give it a super vintage feel. And you could use that as your logo as well. That would make a great logo font. Let's see. Looks like you use a lot of mock-ups, but they're really nice mock-ups. I can tell exactly what you sell. You've got some listing videos that show how they are printed. Looks like, oh, wow. So you've got, are these videos of the areas from your photos?
that's awesome.
That is really cool. I love that. Is this you painting? That is so cool. This right here, this little video that you have in here is an entire mood. This, I would love to see your branding reflect this style. Just super artsy, the color palette, the dark colors, the greens, the reds.
Like you're clearly a professional.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. I think that there's a lot that you could do there. Okay, so let's take a scroll. Oh, let's see. Fine art, photography, sculpture.
You're a good artist.
You are. Okay, so right here we've got some great keywords. Good job. Okay. Very great photos, though.
Sheesh.
Very great photos. And awesome premium pricing. That is something that not a lot of people think about, is that you've got 54 sales, but if 54 sales are coming from items with premium pricing.
Yeah, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, I'm sure quite a few of the sales are the cheaper prints too.
Right.
But like you've got your value pieces in here.
Absolutely. This is like, you know how car lots put the best cars, they put all the muscle cars and the sports cars out front because those draw people in and then they drive away with the minivan. Here are your sports cars, right? And the $35 product are your minivans. And more people are going to buy minivans, but when somebody comes to buy the sports car, it's going to be a day to celebrate, right? Let's take a scroll. All right, there we go. There's some photos and videos. Awesome. This is what I love to see. I love to see photos that make me feel like I am getting to know you, that I'm contributing to your passion, and that you are creating something special just for me, right? That's what everybody wants when they buy a product.
And this is all
FAQs filled out. All right. So I'm going to grab, like I said, I assume that you mostly sell your $35 listing. So I'll just grab a random one.
Couple walking in rain, umbrella, Florence, Italy, Tuscany, fine art print.
Okay.
Night walk.
You're missing a big opportunity here. One of the most searched things on Etsy, if you go to the E-Rank Trend Buzz report and the monthly trend report, wall art. The term wall art is searched more than like any other type of wall decor, wall art. I would make sure that, for anything that's not selling, you try to get the term wall art, because I would just search wall art. I wouldn't know to search fine art print. And there's a lot of terms in here that I wouldn't know to search either. Rainy night walk, romantic art, maybe anniversary gift, paper, blue, dark drawing. These don't feel like very strong go-getter keywords. And with your shop being, if the date that it says that your shop was open is true, it looks like you're not getting the traffic that you could be. So I would really try to refine this keyword strategy and think less like the artist who made the print and more like the shopper who doesn't know what to search for, but they're interested in the type of thing that you sell. But I think that the terms Florence, Italy, I think that terms like these do fit.
It's what I feel when I look at the art. I think that I'm like walking into it. I'm Italian, walking into an Italian person's house with some art that I don't understand, that I know I need to look at, like get a little intrinsic first. And
yeah. But overall, very, very nice. Yeah, I think that your keyword strategy, like I said, that's something that could use refined. Your branding could definitely use a bit of tweaking, and this banner could use a bit of tweaking as
And
well.
the thing is, you're very clearly, I don't know if you're classically trained or not, but I mean, you're talking about doing art pieces. These probably take you like days
Oh, I'm
to
sure.
finish. If you're not doing like reels and TikToks of like speed painting and stuff, you're doing yourself a huge disservice.
People love that.
And these are art pieces that aren't, this isn't stuff that you slap together in like a couple hours. And there's nothing wrong with art that doesn't take a lot of time, but like this is something that very clearly takes you a long time to do. And the people like watching your process. They learn from that. Nobody wants to go to school to learn how to paint, but they'll watch a 3-minute video of somebody painting a masterpiece.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you can time lapse those. You know, there's apps like CapCut. You can speed it up really, really quick, and turn it into a TikTok video or a reel.
Anytime you get a question, somebody's like, man, how'd you do a tree like that? Or how did you get this thing? Show yourself painting something that looks like that and show your process. Teach people. Education in art is something that can be a huge resource for you. And you clearly know what you're doing.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and repost go in the chat here. I'm going to give it about 10 seconds before I actually do so you guys can catch up. You guys can resubmit your shops. Please submit just the actual shop name itself that's in the title on Etsy, and we'll try our best to get it pulled up. I do it completely at random. I know there were a couple people that were a little upset, but I pull them completely random. So new shop, old shop, you can learn something from anybody.
Yep.
I'm going to go ahead and post it.
And keep in mind that there is a 30-second lag. And that's, you know, for those who are just joining us, that's something that I remind you guys every single time, but I have to keep saying it. You know, there's a reason that we do these random. For one, it would take us more time to go through and vet every shop that we do. For two, we're doing these for charity. Everybody can learn something. I just, you know, I was able to critique some of the shops that had more sales. I was able to give them tips. They deserve tips too. And the third thing is, you know, don't make people feel bad, right? We're all here trying to learn. And I think that looking at shops that are doing well, and when I'm pointing things out where I say, this is perfect, this is great, that is a really great opportunity for you to look at and say, okay, this is what they're doing right. How can I do that too?
Okay. Burnout on TikTok, thanks. I do take a long time. I have a YouTube channel as well as Instagram. Yeah, keep it up because
those are great.
I know you with your like actual art, not your prints, you're shooting for the stars with pricing. I get that. This kind of stuff is expensive. And to be able to justify that kind of price, you're going to probably have to push to off-platform advertising quite a bit and not just rely on SEO, because this is a niche. This is an expensive niche, but once you get your foot in the door, I think you could really make something out of this.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. You want to be reaching for those celebrities and those little old ladies who have like buku money because they, you know, had a rich husband at one point. So just, yeah.
Even something like high-end hotels. I mean, some of the hotels that we've stayed at, in every room has had different like actual art prints. Anyway, we're good to go ahead and pick. It's only 12:30. We're blasting through these.
Awesome.
Give me a hard one, guys. Speed run. Give me a hard one.
Okay. Aw, you guys, I love when we like show a shop and you guys are so supportive and
good audience. Every once in a while there's a new person in here that doesn't know the vibe yet, but
all right. This was another big shop.
This was another big shop. That's all right.
We need to find a small shop next. We mostly did big shops. It's because
the last one had 50 sales. What are you talking about?
Oh, you're right. It's because we're such good teachers.
I picked them random. I scroll and click.
These are beautiful photos. These are beautiful. I hope that you're on Instagram marketing it up, Heather, because these are the types of photos that do so well on Instagram, Pinterest. If you did like a little scroll over with your phone for TikTok or an Instagram reel or a YouTube short.
Love the banner.
Beautiful. Great keyword optimization. Your branding's super cute. I'm almost surprised that your branding is clouds because it feels like everything is leaves, but maybe this is just what you did for spring. Maybe like this is a seasonal motif. Very, very pretty photos. I will say that this particular background, it's I like it. It's a wee bit much. There's a lot of texture and color going on. I am having a little trouble focusing on the products, but
I'm in the middle. I like it.
yeah.
I like it.
Do you like it?
I'm very indecisive about it. It's one of those things where it's like it fits so perfectly with the products, but it's not. It's a little abstract.
Yeah, it is. It's a little hard, but you know what? You've got so many product photos here already, and you've already clearly have a lot of customers. So I'm not going to be nitpicky about that. You've got your about section. Would love to see maybe like a photo maybe you working about, or you know, in your about, because this is about you. Let's see.
I said I like it, but it's a bit dark. I agree. It's working for her, so I'm not gonna push it too hard. Clearly it's working.
All right, so I'm just gonna pick a random one. I will pick
That's a countertop.
I'll pick this one. This one, is it a countertop or like a square?
It's either a countertop or it's a faux leather like lay down. Looks like a mat maybe.
All right.
Yeah, they said it's definitely a vibe. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Yeah.
Like it's not totally correct, but it's definitely got its own vibe.
All right, you've got your measurement in here. Chain choices, so you've got your variants, how your products come packaged, your creation process, sterling silver June birthday necklace, best friend birthday gift for her, birth month jewelry, June jewelry, Gemini gifts, Cancer gifts. Okay, so looks like your keywords are pretty good. Not seeing a bunch of repeat words in here.
Gifts.
Yeah,
just repeated a few times.
Yeah, but if they're trying to exact match on those,
put and switch to face. There really wasn't a whole lot to critique with you.
Yeah, Heather. I mean, I'm assuming that you're already on social media. Because those photos would do phenomenally well on social. But if for any reason you're not, make sure you get there. But you've got a really, really great shop. So I don't really have a lot of critiques. All right.
I'll go through a couple until I'm only going to go through like 3. Well, that one didn't work, so I'm going to pick a different one. I'm not going to. I'm not Googling shops today. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I'm sorry.
Every once in a while, we'll get one where there's like a typo in it, or.
There we go.
Okay. Doop. All right. Let's see. 40 or 28 sales. So there you go. There's your smaller shop, guys. All right. You know what? Your shop also has a mood to it, a whole aesthetic.
Yeah, I don't know what you sell based on the top there, but I might know what you sell based on the top there. Pagan arts and crafts, altar cloths, custom tarot art.
Yeah, you know, one thing I will say is that your banner is a really great branding opportunity. I would, based on your banner, it doesn't need to have your products in it, but I should know who your target audience is, or I should have a feeling established. Thankfully, the Pagan audience, there's a whole vibe, right? Like if you go to Pinterest,
and this will fit their vibe, no matter if they're like a dark or an earthy kind of pagan.
Well, what I was gonna say was that I think that you could capture that vibe a little more. I think that there is a little, because it looks like you've done it with some of your photos. You got some like pine cones and, you know, different little items laying around, little props that would bring it all together. I would kind of like to see almost like a little set. You say that you
somebody said, could you embroider your shop name in there?
That might be cool. You make altar cloths. Could you get a photo of an altar for your cover photo? That way it kind of, right when somebody who clicks on your shop, they're like, oh, okay, that's what she sells. That's what she's all about.
Yeah, Dulcie said that doesn't scream witchy to me. It screams more cottage core.
Yeah, I'm getting more of like a Little House on the Prairie vibe.
I get it. If I knew this was a pagan shop, if I knew that that's what they were going for, witchy people, I would get it. Like I would get, okay, you're going for the kind of like earthy, homey witchy vibe. You're not going for like dark, mysterious.
Yeah. Let's
cottage
see.
Hardcore.
you guys know I'm big on having a photo of your face so that people can connect with you. But honestly, you know what? Well played.
Well played.
Well played. It is a face, so I think that
an avatar.
I think that it works. Really great photos. You know, some of them I think you could take a step back a little bit because they are kind of hard to identify. You know,
I dig them though.
If I'm scrolling, I might think, is this a curtain? Is it a blanket? Is it a napkin? Is it a tissue? What is it? Is it a tablecloth? How big is it? I think if you just kind of took a little step back, these right here where they're just kind of cut off at the corners, I think are great. I don't know how big these are, and maybe that's why you are taking such a close-up photo.
They're about the size of an altar.
Oh, hey, check your alter ego at the door. But overall, your photo quality is really nice, and I actually like that you haven't edited them. And if you have, you haven't done a lot to edit them because it makes them look a lot more natural, and it contributes to that very natural vibe. These photos are really nice. Normally, I do not like sharp shadows in product photos. You guys hear me say that a lot, but I think...
But if it's artistically done on purpose, there's a difference between not being experienced enough to remove a shadow and using one for an artistic purpose.
Yeah.
There's a big difference.
All right.
Are they supposed to go in the embroidery hoops to be hung? I think they're... I don't know.
This one is really, this is a nice photo. These are great. This is what I want to see for an about section. And it looks like you've got the whole vibe too.
Yeah, you got the whole, you're the earthy kind, aren't you?
Yeah.
Earthy homie. I bet your house smells amazing.
This photo. This is the type of photo that I want to see.
That there could be your banner.
For your banner. Yeah. This is the type of photo that I would love to see.
Cut it off like right above this arrow here.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that this would make a phenomenal banner. I'm sure you have other photos like this as well. Something like this.
You're good at taking pictures. You just got to pick the right one.
Absolutely. Even, you know what? Even this one.
I like your hand carved saw tool next photo.
This one.
So yeah,
is it hand carved?
Carve the little witch into it.
Or no, it's not
maybe
part
that's
of the
what
saw.
I thought it was a handle for the saw.
Perceptions.
Perception.
All right, so let's take a scroll. I'll grab this one. Yeah, really nice photos. They have a very nice. Oh, that's great.
Exactly what you're doing with your natural lighting through your window over there.
There's some nice dapple shadowing. Everything
is purposeful.
Yeah.
Purposefully imperfect.
These look very nice. Ooh, very nice details. More details, essential details, making sure that anything that they need to know, you've already placed it right in your listing photos. All right. And honestly, it would appear...
Pendulum cloth embroidered with all seeing eye, altar cloth, traditional, witchcraft, Wicca linen cloth, pendulum mat. I really don't see...
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know all SEO off the top of my head.
All the keywords in the world.
All the keywords. I will embody Anthony Wolf for this video.
But no, overall, I think it looks really, really nice. Now, here's the thing. You have photos of yourself down there, though.
I don't know. I like her little avatar. I like it.
Okay.
It looks like it's going to give me crap.
Well, here's another thing. I assumed immediately, and maybe this is me. Maybe this is a problem in myself. And chat, feel free.
Are you about to microaggression right now?
I'm about to microaggression. My brain immediately thought, this is an older lady. This is a cool older lady. And you're like really young. And it's not like that's an essential detail, but it helps me to, it's almost like I get more excited knowing that you're young and that you've learned how to, you've learned embroidery so well. Cause yes, there are a lot of young people who do it, but typically when we think of embroidery, we think of grandma sitting in her rocking chair, right? So it's almost even cooler to be like, wow, look at this chick. Look at what she's doing. Look at how good she is at this, you know? Mm-hmm. It's like you can expect an older lady who's been doing it for 60 years to be good at it. But when I see a younger person who is really, really good at embroidery.
Patricia said I'm an older lady on the inside. Me too, Patricia. Me too.
I haven't
found my babushka yet. But
the old soul.
I'm just gonna become Babushka.
Yeah, that's him.
That'll be my next album, Becoming Babushka.
He's gonna be our little old lady.
No, but I really dig the shop.
Yeah.
I really do. I think that's cool. I can tell the vibes you're going for it.
I like when I go into a shop and I feel it. Can we start doing that for shop critiques? I feel it, I feel the vibe, or I don't feel the vibe. How about that? I'll let you guys know immediately. Do I feel the vibe or do I not? Because the vibe is a branding thing.
And Robert said Alora suggests not to repeat any keyword more than twice in the heading. You should really try to not repeat keywords at all unless you're trying to specifically exact match for it plus the word that comes after it or the next two words that come after it. If you're gonna repeat it, there's nothing that says you can't repeat it more than twice. That's kind of dumb. You really shouldn't repeat it more than once at all. Again, unless you're trying to exact match for what you're doing.
And I see where they're coming from, but there's nothing official from Etsy that says that. They just say we don't have to repeat those terms because you're going to broad match for them regardless.
And someone has said there are many different kinds of witchy. Never assume, always assume your customer is an idiot and knows absolutely nothing about you.
That's true.
Never assume, because if you're outside of the like witchy, pagan, Wiccan community, most people just think black clothes, used to wear trip pants. Like you're gonna be stereotyped. If you're in any kind of genre on your own, you are grouped in with everyone. For someone who doesn't understand that there are different types of pagans and there are different types of Wiccans, they're not going to look at this and go, okay, yeah, that's an earthy, homey kind of witchy vibe. No, they're going to think this is an embroidery shop. So never assume. That's a good lesson. Never assume anyone's going to know anything about you by looking at you.
Yeah, exactly. Because right when we got into the shop, like we immediately identified the vibe. It's almost I'm almost getting like cottage witch vibes. Like I'm getting very.
I feel like if I open up every cabinet in your house, there's a stick of sage in there. You know, like
there's some fresh lavender drying above the windows.
There's something in every corner of the house that smells good.
Yeah, all the good
But
smells.
It's all the smells that you can't identify unless you know what they are. You're like, what is that smell? It smells good, but I don't know what it is. Exactly. I have officially lost a bunch of the shops because the chat has reverted, so I'll just start there and
all right, give us a random scroll.
Do a little goobler.
Do a little goobler.
It is 12:48. Maybe do one more since this will be 6 and then get the questions.
We're gonna do this one and then we're gonna do one more after that, so technically 2 more, and then you guys are free to ask us some questions.
I meant one more, but
let's do this one and then one more. Because I like to make sure that everybody has an opportunity to ask questions at the end. So yeah. All right. Are we ready?
No.
All right.
Got it. Let me close these off here.
You. I feel like it's like a battle. It's just you versus you. Only one shall win.
Be a cottage fairy, dude. Me too.
You are a cottage fairy.
I kind of am a cottage fairy.
All right. So I really do like your banner. I think it's really pretty. One thing I will say, it's a little bit blurry. It's not the best resolution, especially when I can already see crisp photos.
It is really hard sometimes to get Etsy to cooperate and get it. We do have to consider that we're on a 4K monitor, so it's not as blurry as it looks. It could be more crisp, but this is a nitpick critique.
Yeah. I will say immediately, I'm not a fan of your banner, or not your banner, your logo. You have there's too many fonts going on. This font, too many fonts. And when we're talking about branding, we want to remain cohesive and consistent with all aspects of your branding. Your banner is part of your branding. Your logo down here is part of your branding. I also can't read this. I know what your shop name is because I can see it, but this is so small I can't see it. I'm not a fan of how you have the one kind of behind it. It just feels like I feel like you made it in Canva. I can kind of assume that you made it in Canva, which isn't necessarily a big deal. But you could definitely refine this branding a little bit more and maybe, hire a designer to do a cheap logo for you. I know that a lot of people who are good at design, you're just too close to your brand to be able to create something really, really good for you. You could do it for somebody else and be good at it, but when you try to do it for yourself, it's a little bit harder. Sometimes it's better to put it in the hands of somebody else and see what they can do. But overall, I love your colors. Let's see. Is my phone ringing? No. Digital assets to help you, from journals to AI. Could you elaborate on to help you? To help me what? What are you helping me with? What type of help is it? Is it organization help? Is it
Gilligan made a good point
spiritual
too.
help? Is it manifestation help? What is the help?
Because she said UVU. She's like, I thought that was the shop name. What does the UVU mean? People don't understand that. It's a slogan. Because the shop is Mastery of One.
Okay, then you need to reverse these. Yeah, that's not your shop name. You're right. I wasn't thinking about that.
Yeah, that threw me off too.
Yeah, I would business name front and center.
I get what you're going for, though. I get the vibe that you're trying to go for.
Yeah, definitely. And the fact that the chat is also agreeing, it just kind of helps to hear, those outside perspectives and the way that they're hearing it as well. Let's see.
Said master yourself. I understand.
Oh yeah, we understand the vibe.
I understand.
But that's because we're sitting here looking at it under, under a microscope, whereas the general demographic, people who are going to be shopping, they're going to glance at it and be like, I don't understand, and then they're going to scroll past it. Let's see. I think that what you should really, really focus on is your overall message. To help you what and who are you helping? Because right now I'm looking at your shop and
I have no idea what you sell.
I'm seeing, let's see, rental property analyzer, QR
Expense
codes,
tracker,
social media.
I get it when I actually look at each individual listing and read out what they're supposed to be. Short-term rental arbitrage scripts, Airbnb expense tracker.
So it feels like do you mostly help people who rent like Airbnbs and things like that? Because
No, it looks like a lot of different things.
I feel like you need to refine. This is a lot of things. If you are appealing to like people who rent Airbnbs and things, I think that you could run, this isn't about, if people who are running Airbnbs are not caring about mastering themselves, they are caring about building a profitable business.
That's not all she sells. She sells a lot of different things. Like the second thing there are AI generated prompts for work journals.
Yeah.
Like I can't tell specifically who you're attempting to sell to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's a lot here that I think needs some refining or separate shops, because it feels like you're catering to too many target audiences here. I think that you should really narrow down on your why, on your who, on your what. And if you haven't already, down below, there should be, actually, I don't think that it is down below on this video. If you go to Printify's YouTube channel or any of my past videos and you click in the link in description, I just did a webinar with Printify, last week before, where branding and not like your logos and things, but creating a brand identity was the showcase. And yeah, it was for a print on demand audience, but it can literally be applied to anything. If you find it, it is on Printify's official YouTube channel, but you have to click their live video tab. On their channel. Otherwise, it'll be hard to find. Or just search Starla Moore Printify webinar, and you should be able to find it. All right. It looks like you have... Woo!
Yeah, just my little wheel down there.
No, it's fine. I got it. Okay, so you've got your listing video. Looks like you made it in Canva. Super cute. So there's your why, which your why is to help your family. But what is the why connected to the people, the customers, the target, right? So you've got journals. Okay, so I always do that. You've got journals to help develop new habits, reach a fitness goal, improve your mental health. But in addition to journals, we also offer a range of resources and templates designed to help Airbnb hosts. This is a shop. This is a shop.
Yeah, two totally different things.
What you've created is together, it's a little confusing.
I get what you're going for,
right?
But they don't match.
Yeah, I would definitely plan to do some separating. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and just grab the first listing. Let's see. Business card, digital business card with QR code, business card template, QR code.
And I dig this. This is a good idea for a product. It's so somebody can just do a QR code on your screen and save you as a contact. Love it.
Awesome.
I get exactly what you're going for with this specific product.
Mm-hmm.
It's when the products get melded together that it gets confusing. The individual products aren't a problem.
Yeah, and in your keyword, I mean, you have the word business card in here a couple times, but that's not that big a deal. QR code, unless you're trying to exact match all these terms, you don't need to get QR code. In fact, I think that you could refine this title to digital business card with QR code and editable contact template information for networking. I got all your keywords in there, and you would still broad match for everything that you're doing. And I put that in one neat little sentence.
Would it be an issue to have the word Airbnb in the shop since it's a company / copyright? I'm not sure. That's up to Airbnb.
Yes,
because it's a company name.
It is a company name, but it's almost like you're under their company when you're. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure. You'll have to look up what their what their terms are.
But yeah, Paige, I think that really just defining your focus here, because you've got great mock-up photos. I love the idea of your product. I would just, if I was an Airbnb host and I was looking for the type of products that you sell, and I got to your shop and I started seeing a bunch of other stuff, I would go look for another shop. That way I don't have to sift through all the other stuff. I would go find a different shop. It's all about really, really defining your niche and who you are specifically for. Women who own Airbnbs. That's a great niche, right? Women who want to create
Airbnb is a booming business.
Yeah.
Right,
yeah.
And people are trying to improve as best they can because 1-star reviews do not survive on Airbnb. Yeah. But I think no, we only have 30 minutes left.
Oh, so. We said we'd do one more.
You said that. I said the opposite.
We'll do one more and let them get their questions in while we're doing it. How about that?
Sure.
Compromise.
Lay down, buddy.
All right, we're going to do one more for speed run. While he's picking out the last shops, you guys...
If they're even still there.
Oh, yeah.
They're not.
Oh, they're not up there anymore?
They're not up there anymore. And it froze.
Oh, no.
Chat froze. Sorry, guys. Hold on.
Technical difficulties.
Yeah, no, my browser completely froze up.
One moment, please. He's messing everything up.
Yeah, we're not going to be able to do another shop. I'm not going to be able to get that chat back.
Ah, that stinks.
Sorry, guys.
Okay. While he's trying to get it all fixed. There we go.
There's the shops are gone.
Okay. Well, yeah, they've all shot.
Don't repost your shops. We'll just go ahead and stop for now. We do these like once a month, once every month and a half or so.
Yeah. So what I would like to do, since it'll be a few minutes before they stop because the lag.
The 30-second delay. Yeah, we're done doing shops. You guys can get your questions in now.
Yes. I want to spend a little bit of time making sure that you guys have the opportunity to ask specific questions, because I know that some of you ask questions during the stream. I don't see them because things are moving so fast. So please consider getting some questions in. That way we can keep things rolling. We'll do as many questions as we can for the next 30 minutes. And we do these every month. So make sure that you're subscribed. Did the cat knock stuff over?
Mm-hmm.
Make sure that you're subscribed to the channel if you haven't already. That way you don't miss out on the next one. And consider checking out some of our replays of past critiques. There's a whole playlist on my channel where we do these. So, all right.
Mm-hmm.
Are we...
Woo! Thank you. I like the mix today. Me too. It was
Betsy.
a good even mix. Let me make sure there wasn't anything above that. No. Okay.
All right.
Handmade jewelry and PO shop with 4 sales and maybe 1 to 5 visits daily. Should I open a new shop to integrate other products like wax melts?
Who's the target audience for those? That sounds like a whole lot of stuff. But if it's all themed in I don't know, the color purple. If it's all themed in cat ladies, if it's all themed around, you know, witchy vibes, for example, if it's all themed around Little House on the Prairie, you know, cottage core vibes, I'm sure you could make it all fit together. But when I hear those words, they sound like separate things. Just remember that double shops does not equal double money.
It does not. It equals double work.
It equals double work and often double expenses. So I don't recommend starting a bunch of shops. I recommend making sure that you get one shop to sustainability before you expand out.
For titles for POD products, example, pillow reads, I love dogs. Should I love dogs be in the title?
I mean, you need to research those keywords. I can't tell you how many people are searching for those keywords. So I would make sure that you are checking eRank and seeing if the search term I love dogs is being searched for. If not, it might be better to use a term like dog lover gifts, for example.
When you post a new listing, does Etsy advertise it as new?
I'm not quite sure what you mean. Do you mean, do they like actually specifically
stick a new banner on it? I don't know.
No, they don't do anything special other than when you add a new listing, you do get a brief boost in search, and Etsy kind of shuffles it around a little bit and shows it to all different people to try to identify, you know, the shopper patterns, how people are interacting with it so they can formulate a listing quality score for you. But no, there's no like special like badge of honor for new listings, unfortunately.
Thanks for doing this. Always so interested to see other people's shops. Me too. It's also a good way to find niches you didn't know you liked.
Yeah.
Are there things that are safe to change for listings performing well? Yes. Photos, which is something that someone had asked, can you change photos? Photos have no effect on your ranking whatsoever, so you can change them at any time.
Yeah, photos, just keep in mind that if people really liked the previous photo that you used and you change it and your customers are like, oh,
it can confuse people in their favorites as well if the photo changed and they go through and they're like, I don't remember favoriting that.
Yeah, so the algorithm, no, you photos are fine to change, but if you put, you know, a photo that people just don't like as much, then yeah, it's going to affect your sales. You can also, you can edit your descriptions. Just try to leave good keywords in there when possible. You know, descriptions don't have a lot of weight in search. You can change out your materials, your shipping times. If, you know, if there's an emergency and you need to move your shipping times around, you can do that safely. Tags and titles and attributes. Those are the main things that for listings that are performing well, you don't want to change those.
How are you?
I've been better.
I'm all right. I mean, I'm 2 weeks of COVID now. But outside of that, I'm good. I'm good. I could use a little more sleep.
Yeah.
How about you?
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm way underrested right now.
I'm pretty sick of coughing. That's a sure thing. Would it be better to have pictures of what you're selling in your banner?
Your banner?
Not necessarily.
Your banner doesn't need to be an advertisement for what you sell. Your banner should capture the feelings that you're trying to create in your customers.
And if your products can be a part of that,
yeah, exactly.
Cherry on top.
Right. So, no, I've seen great banners where it's just the business's name and the banner is really crisp. That's fine as well, as long as it creates a feeling.
Express yourself. Your banner is a way to express yourself as a brand. If your products fit into that expression, fine. Your products are not your brand.
Exactly.
Is it okay to add photos?
Yeah, we
answered that. Okay. So is there a problem with having a different shop name than your sole proprietorship or your LLC for tax purposes? No, because your sole proprietorship is just you, right? Your sole proprietorship isn't your business. It's just you. There are many different types of ways that LLCs can be handled, so I can't necessarily answer that question. I don't think it's a problem because your LLC represents your business, right? Your LLC could be one entity that encompasses 5 different Etsy shops, right?
An umbrella.
An umbrella, but that's also, there's corporations and companies, and those are 2 totally different things. I recommend getting yourself a tax specialist for something like that. They can set that kind of stuff up for you. If you're in the United States, we use Block Advisors. They're great. It's a subsidiary of H&R Block, and they work with small businesses if you go there, they're going to bug you to get an LLC anyway. So just ask them. What advice do you have for cohesive thumbnails for POD? I sell different types in a specific niche.
Change out the background. It doesn't matter if you're selling, if you're using mock-ups for your POD product, you can still, especially if you're using Printify or Printful, I know that Printful, you can get your photos with the background already removed, or you can use Canva to remove backgrounds and change out the backgrounds to fit your branding a little bit more. Change things about them. That's what Amber Marie and I do for the Alpha merch shop. That shop is just kind of a way for us to test things without us accidentally, messing up anything with active shops, especially poor Amber, because her shop is massive. But it allows us to kind of tinker with things. We try to brand every collection with crazy backgrounds just to see how they perform. We do weird backgrounds, things that a lot of the times we actually advise you guys against. But I think that there's a link to the Alpha shop down below if you want to kind of see, and it's all print on demand as well. And we also order samples of some of our own products. I'm wearing one right now. You can go buy this sweatshirt. But we will take some of our own photos and mix those in with the other ones. And it's nice because you'll see like mock-ups and models in some of the photos, but then you'll also see me and Amber and Marc in some of the photos.
I don't quite. This person said, with metadata being tracked so much lately, is it okay if you're copying your liaising information from your Shopify to Etsy, or should we retype it to avoid it?
If you're worried, if your question is, are you going to mess with your Google SEO by because keep in mind that we know crap about Google SEO. We are Etsy SEO,
I understand the basics of Google SEO.
But if you're asking about the repetition issues by potentially copying those listings over from Shopify without varying them at all and putting them on Etsy, the thing is, tweak them a little bit, but Etsy listings don't really perform singularly well in Google anyway.
No,
so
they do not.
So I would never worry about Google and Etsy, like completely separate things. Make sure that if you know a lot about Google SEO, you don't use that knowledge to do your Etsy SEO. Some things will transfer over. A lot of things don't. Google hates repetition. Etsy loves repetition. So I'm not quite sure what you're asking, but I'm going to guess that I'm probably not the best person to answer your question. However, you might be able to get a good answer from the eRank group, because I think that Anthony Wolf would probably be able to answer it for you. eRank group over on Facebook.
Just a friendly reminder, I've seen quite a few questions of like not getting any sales right now as indescript questions. I just skip over those because there's no way for us to actually answer those. So if you have questions that have actual details that we can try to maybe give some insight on, we'll answer those. But if it's I'm not making sales, what can I do? We can't really answer that question.
Right.
For you, unfortunately.
If that's your question, you need to put less time into asking why you're not making sales and more time into trying to kind of self-diagnose. I've actually got videos on my channel about that exact topic that you guys can go watch. I've got a video that says like how to make a listing sell. Make sure that you go watch those, because I don't know anything about your shop. I can't tell you why your listings aren't selling.
We're at a point where we get so many questions that those are a waste of time for everyone else. So I try to avoid those.
Not that your question isn't valid. It's just, it's an easy question for you to self-diagnose.
Yeah, it's an impossible answer for us, and you're the only person that can provide that answer at the time.
Exactly.
I sell digital products in POD. They both target the same customer. Should I separate my shops?
No. If they target the same customer and there's a cohesive vibe, you don't have to separate them. It's really the target customer that you're trying to appeal to that you want to focus on.
POD shirts, is it allowed to put comfort colors or Bella Canvas in the titles?
I believe, Amy, that because these companies, especially Bella Canvas, because they work with all major print-on-demand services, that it's come to be expected that you will use their terms. Just like, for example, this is Champion. I think that any of the companies that license specifically with POD companies, you are safe to use. Maybe double check it directly with your print provider, but I believe that it's okay because they are providing their products for the purpose of printing on them to these companies.
What's your favorite, most resourceful E-rank tool?
The keyword tool, hands down. Keyword tool tells you how many people are, on average searching for certain keywords, clicking them, how many, what your competition rate's going to look like, average price points for those products, related keywords. That way you can think of new keywords to use. Keyword tool, hands down.
Do you absolutely need to fill all the photos to be able to rank? Nope. Photos have absolutely no input to your ranking for your product. I mean, I'm sure having 0 photos as opposed to 1 probably does. It probably tells Etsy.
Photos.
Oh, well then, no.
Yeah, no. Etsy doesn't count your photos. Photos are an opportunity for you to keep the buyer on the screen for longer. So think of it like this. If somebody is on your listing, right, and there's a lot of photos, they're going to spend more time clicking through all those photos. The longer that somebody is on that page contemplating their purchase, the more likely it is that they will complete that purchase. If you've only got 1 or 2 photos, they're going to glance at it. They're not going to spend very long on that page, and they're going to, potentially leave. You want to keep them on that page for as long as possible, because the longer they're there, the more likely it is that they'll complete that purchase. So more photos creates more opportunities.
I plan to change my Etsy shop and social media name to better reflect what I sell. What's the best way to rebrand?
Oh, I would just do it all at once. Announce it like a celebration. Be excited about it.
We've decided to change our branding to fit more with the
you could make a whole thing out of it. You could run a sale for it. There's so much you can do. Make it fun for everybody. If you've got a big audience, make it fun. If you've got a small audience that isn't going to care, then just rip the Band-Aid off and do it, and don't worry about it.
I'm struggling to get our shop ranked on Google. When I search our shop name, it shows our other shop, not this one. Google blames Etsy. Etsy blames Google. What can we do? We can't tell you. We don't know enough about Google.
Well, and not only that, but ranking an Etsy shop on Google is
hard. It's
so hard that even Anthony Wolf, CEO of erank.com, will admit that it's freaking hard.
Etsy changes frequently and is not indexed very well by Google. So you're going to struggle no matter what you do. And I wish I had a better answer for you, but we don't do Google.
Yep. Unfortunately.
I sell POD products, shirts, mugs, etc. What would be the best way to make a cohesive shop photo with different items?
I think I already answered that question. But similar backgrounds, similar aesthetics to your backgrounds that you're using, similar mock-ups. Trying to make sure that you are getting those photos cohesive. Like I said, Canva is a great resource because you can swap your backgrounds out. You can remove your background and add in a new background. You will need Canva Pro to do that. But it's worth the investment if, because you can use it for a lot of things for your business.
Is it okay to do art prints with POD with my art on it, or is it still not considered a niche?
No, your art is the niche.
What your art entails is your niche, or who your art appeals to is your niche.
Art is not a niche.
And POD is not a niche. Prints are not a niche.
Yeah. Yeah. What type are they? Are they, what's your profile picture? I can't tell. Is it an anime character? I can't tell.
Appears so.
If your art was, we'll just use that as an example. If you were doing like anime art, prints and POD and maybe like digital products, those are not your niches. Anime art is your niche, not art, not POD, not, digital products.
What's the best way to find out if the free shipping guarantee in my shop is actually bringing any orders? There really isn't. There really isn't a way to tell what got a person to buy, and that's the whole battle. That's why most of these people are here.
Yeah, it's a bit of a conundrum. But you turn it off and see if your orders stop. that would be the only way to really test it, is to stop doing free shipping and see if it hurts you at all.
Does birthday cards for kids and stickers a good idea to have in one shop?
Sure.
Why not?
Who's the target, not what the target audience, the target customer would be moms of, children ages, what we'll say like 5 to 10, maybe, that's a niche.
When selling POD products, is it best to show every primary photo on the same type of product, i.e. white crew neck? Not necessarily, because not every print is going to look the same on every product, right? Like you might have one design that looks good on a shirt, another design that looks better on a cup.
Yeah.
Like,
If the Alpha Dap shop, I think that our shop is linked down in the video description towards the bottom. You just got to expand it out. We do it with one color, but then I create little frames down the side where you can see the other colors that are available right from the thumbnail. That way they know what their other options are. And then I just pick whichever, primary looks the best. Whichever one I find to be the most flattering is typically the one that we showcase as the main thumbnail.
in my shop's branding, should I use me, my, or us, our? I'm wondering what the brand psychology says for something like this.
It depends on how you want to be seen.
I prefer intellectual honesty when it comes to those things. Is it you or is it a couple of people?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
exactly.
Don't overthink the little stuff.
Right. With Alpha Dapt, it's me and Amber, so we say we.
I get what you're going for though. Like, is it do people like me, my, or us, our more? If you want to be technical about it, Etsy's a platform for people to buy handmade artisan products. They're usually not on there thinking, I want to buy this from a group of people, even though usually if something is at a point where it has groups of people working on something, the product's probably going to be better anyway, right?
Yeah.
So at this point, it probably doesn't matter too much, so don't overthink it.
Yeah, in terms of the psychology of it, it's not something that I've looked into, but maybe I will now.
That would be a very, very niche study to find.
Yeah.
I'm wondering about getting an accountant. If you made less than $1,000, would you still recommend it, especially if you're trying to do quarterly taxes?
For quarterly taxes, I would definitely.
Maybe not necessarily an accountant if you made $1,000 in a year. That's going to be like most of your money.
That's true.
But I would definitely still recommend going through a company to do your taxes and not doing them yourselves. Also, if you only made $1,000, quarterly taxes probably aren't necessary. I don't know. There's a limit you hit when you start. If you don't pay quarterly taxes, you have to start paying a fine if you don't.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is though. And it probably changes from place to place. Should a shop name match the niche? Does this matter?
It doesn't have to. I mean, it's fun to have your shop name reflect what you sell, but man,
Not necessarily.
my first shop I sold jewelry, and my first shop had art in the title. I didn't sell art.
It doesn't matter.
I was 19 when I started that shop and didn't know what I was doing. So it doesn't really matter, but it can help to have a more memorable is what matters.
Yeah.
Google doesn't tell you anything about what they sell. It's just fun to say, which means people remember it.
Yeah, you Google it.
You Google it.
You Google it. It's actually derived from Goog, which means something, and I don't know. There's a whole breakdown for it. Stupid. I take it that a shop banner is essentially for an Etsy shop. I have 300 plus sales, but I still don't have one. Should that be my number one priority?
Is it essential? No. Is it important? It helps to...
Ish.
Here's the thing. When I go to a shop that doesn't have a banner, I'm thinking they were too lazy to do this.
Excuse me.
It's not that hard to do. Canva has templates that you can use that you can just toss in together. I would prioritize it. I would, it's not like affecting your ranking or anything, but I mean, I don't think it is. It might. I would get something up there. You can always perfect it later, but get something up there for now.
Have you heard of the new offer program for vintage items?
I haven't, but I don't do a lot with vintage sellers because I just don't have as many in my community. So I don't really follow the news in Etsy vintage that much. But no, I haven't heard anything. But like I said, it might just be because my ears aren't especially tuned for the vintage community, just because we have so few sellers in our own community that sell vintage.
Have you seen the new way Etsy shows reviews on listing pages? It shows the percent of each star count, like 70% 5-star, 30% 4-star. I tagged you on Facebook with a screenshot. I have not seen that yet, but I actually like that.
Yeah, I haven't. I don't know. I guess it kind of. I like it on other platforms. There's a part of me that doesn't like it on Etsy, but I can understand why it's there. And if you tag me on Facebook, let me just say that this week there's been a lot going on this week.
We really haven't been on social media or anything this week. We just haven't had a chance.
Yeah, I've had family drama this week. But I can understand why they would do something like that. It might be temporary though. A lot of times when sellers, point out that they don't like things like that, Etsy takes them away. I'll look for the post though.
You say not to repeat keywords many times in your title, but I've looked at the top listing on eRank and they seem to repeat to focus heavily on the exact phrases to match. Exactly. We don't say don't repeat your keywords. We say don't repeat your keywords unless you have to. If there's no reason to repeat a keyword, don't repeat a keyword. But again, if you're trying to exact match for exact things and you need it to exact match, it's okay to repeat your keywords. You should just try not to if you don't have to.
And not to mention, looking at the top shops is not a good way for you to figure out how to do your own SEO. The reason for that is the reason that those are top shops.
They don't need SEO.
Well, they no longer really need to have the very, very best keyword strategy because their listing quality scores are so high. For example, #1 seller on Etsy has been Planner Kate for years. I think she was dethroned recently. But Planner Kate, she could list anything. And because Etsy knows that they will make a lot of money from her listings,
Front and center,
Etsy will prioritize her in search. Her customer and marketplace experience score is phenomenally high. Her listing quality scores are phenomenally high. It doesn't matter if her SEO is crappy. As long as she's got some decent keywords in there, Etsy's going to say, oh, yep, Planner Kate, she's got more listings. This is going to bring us money. Let's show her to everybody. Again, guys, my free Etsy SE Oodles toolbox down below, that comes with a workshop that explains how Etsy's algorithm works. I highly recommend checking that out if you have any questions specifically about listing quality scores and customer marketplace experience scores.
Why would listings with worse photos, fewer sales, and favorites? First of all, photos have no effect on your ranking at all. Fewer sales and favorites, most of the same keywords, rank higher than ones with more sales and favorites.
First, how are you determining the rank? Are you doing it with the Etsy search bar? Because you can't establish rank that way.
You cannot establish rank that way.
Rank is personalized per user. You have to use eRank's rank checker to strip that personalization off and just see what's coming directly from Etsy's API, right? So assuming that you're doing it with the rank checker and you're seeing those listings that have worse photos, fewer sales, favorites, yada, yada, ranking higher, they might just be newer listings and Etsy is boosting them because new listings get a slight boost. Etsy might just be experimenting with their search placement. The Etsy algorithm works in mysterious ways, but it's a good opportunity and something great for new sellers because that means that when you don't have a history and you're not that great at what you do yet, you still have an opportunity.
She said eRank.
You used eRank? Okay. So like I said, it could just be newer listings or Etsy, trying to determine exactly who they should be showing that listing to.
Sometimes Etsy does things and there seems to be no rhyme or reason to it, unfortunately. There's probably a little bit of random number generation involved with how they do things anymore, especially when you have thousands of listings a minute being uploaded, right? Like sometimes things don't work in the way that you expect. What niche are you guys in? Thanks. We are Etsy coaches.
So multiple niches. I have my Alpha Dap shop, which is down below. That niche is you guys. It's a merch store. It's where we're able to experiment with things. Mark and I are both managers over at erank.com, so we spend most of our time doing that. Other niche, can I say what my other shop is?
No, you cannot.
I've got another shop that you guys aren't allowed to know what it is, because if everybody knows what it is, then you guys are going to go and you're going to flood my numbers, and it's not going to give me any
honest search results.
It's not going to give me any indication of what my true stats are. So I try to keep that one a little bit more anonymous. I also am working on another shop with Mark. And what is that niche going to be? We can't say what the product is, but what is that? It's POD. It'll be POD.
It'll be mostly POD. I think I want to work with a couple of like local embroidery shops and stuff too, but I don't know. That's one of the reasons the shop isn't there yet. It's gonna be a lot. Establishing the brand is going to be a challenge because it's one of those we're trying to establish one of those brands that's kind of weird, doesn't fit into
something funny.
Yeah, it fits into a niche, but it's a niche within a niche, and it's weird. So we'll if and when it gets established, we'll show you guys.
We're working on something
because I don't mind having a boost in my shop, but hers is being used for testing. I have two shops. I offer handmade home decor, especially wreaths for front doors. The second shop, I sell sublimated signs to make a wreath. And I'm adding sublimated tumblers. Which shop should I put them in?
Well, the second one, you sell sublimated signs to use to make a wreath. So
sublimation is the only common factor there. It doesn't fit into either shop.
Crafting, they're things.
Yeah, I guess.
Or the tumblers are already made. It's it doesn't fit either of those shops, to be perfectly honest. So it just depends on the type of target audience. I can't tell you. I really can't. I know that really sucks. But the tumblers don't feel like they match either of those things. So
You guys are all wildly off about the only one that's close is somebody said that it's going to be Goofy, isn't it?
it's going to be really silly.
It is Goofy.
Yeah.
Does not have anything to do with cats, but there will be a cat involved at some point. I'm sure.
You'll never be able to guess.
You literally will never be able to guess because it was the dumbest idea I've ever had.
He made it up at like 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, it was one of those things where we went to bed and I was like, here's an idea. I sent it to myself. I woke up, sent it to myself on Facebook, and we loved it so much that it became a real thing.
No, I hated it, but the hate made me love it
because you know that it'll be good.
Coming soon.
Coming soon. It is not aliens. What about keywords and shop names? Is that indexed?
There's nowhere in Etsy's Ultimate Guide to Search that says that your shop name contributes at all.
Doesn't mean that it doesn't, but I mean, unless you're trying to rank for your name, then it doesn't matter anyway. And unless your name is like Silver Dragon Necklace Jewelry.
Yeah.
It's probably not going to matter.
Sublimated Tumblers Incorporated.
Yeah, there you go. How important is filling out alt text on listing photos? Is it okay to just do it for the primary photo?
Alt text is for people who are visually impaired. How important would it be for a blind person to know about your products is really what you're asking.
Yeah, I mean, if you can keyword optimize it, that's cool, but prioritize making it readable for computer generated voices.
Yeah, it's go get him. It's about accessibility, right? It's people who aren't able to who aren't able to see what you're selling, but a computer is able to read it to them. And it doesn't mean that they're blind. It can be other visual impairments, but pretend that the person is blind. How important is it for them to see the other product? Or if one of the products, it's the same, but it's just kind of tilted to the left, you probably don't need to fill out your alt text for it. Start with your thumbnails, but I would try to work your way through the other ones.
They said nudist Buddhist. It's not, though, is the problem, is that it will fit into numerous categories of people within a certain lane of thinking.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? It's not really a nudist Buddhist product. Anyway.
No, not quite. Not quite.
Can you describe an item made on a circular knitting machine as handmade or just homemade?
That would be handmade. I mean, you made it. I would say that would be handmade.
Did you touch it with your hands?
Right. You made it. I would consider
you
that.
Loaded the machine, made the design. Handmade's fine.
Yeah.
Again, don't overthink things.
Yeah.
I love painting and doing sculpture. Is it okay to put both sculpts and paintings in the same shop? We showed a shop earlier today that did that exact thing. I like animal art. I want to paint my sculpture characters on my canvas art too.
Yeah, I
don't see a problem with that.
If it's a cohesive kind of style, absolutely.
If you upload it, if you upload your art and you have your sculptures up there and you look at it and you go, man, this looks really weird together, then it's going to look really weird to everybody else too.
Right.
So just try it.
If your canvases were all like animals, but then all of your sculptures were like nude women, might be a little weird, you know? It just depends on what the art is, I think.
I what?
I what? You were gonna read the same comment again.
What?
I saw you.
I just started watching Stupid Question. Then I'll just go to the next one. I'm just kidding. You can't critique my page. I need to submit it somewhere. Love your content. No, when we do these shop critiques, I usually will say go in the chat, and then people will submit their shop names. We're done with shop critiques.
We do them for an hour, and then we hang out for an extra 30 minutes and
to answer questions. Yeah,
so you joined us right when we started answering questions. But we do these every month, so feel free to subscribe and join us for the next one.
How can I verify my shop in Google Search Console if I can't upload an HTML verification to my Etsy store? It's been 3 months and my site is still not indexed on Google.
Ooh, that's a hard one. Again, Robert, head over to the eRank group on Facebook and post your question. I feel like this is a good question for Anthony Wolf. He might be able to help because it should definitely have been indexed by now. 3 months is a long time.
All right. we are at the 30-minute mark. There's a lot of questions left. Unfortunately, with our time limits, we are not able to get to everything. Yep, we're up to exactly $400 raised. Thank you so much for your guys'
400
donations.
on the dot.
Those kids needed a lot, and there's no end in sight. So
absolutely,
keep
absolutely.
things moving.
And we're.
Oh no, I was thinking we were still doing the Ukraine stuff.
It's
still very important though.
Turkey, Syria, and Save the Children. I mean, they're not just only collecting for Turkey and Syria. They are helping with the children.
That's what we're using currently.
Well, yeah, because that is probably where most of their funding is going right now. But Ukraine as well. All right, guys. Thanks so much. I know that you guys had a lot of other questions. I'm sorry we couldn't get to all of them, and I'm sorry we couldn't get to all the shops, but our channel is growing. But that's a good thing. That means we can do more fun stuff. It means that we can
more variation in questions too.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate you guys being patient with us. As you guys know, we've been sick. We have not felt well. Mark has had COVID. I had COVID symptoms, no positive test, but
she was sick for like 2 days.
I treated it like I had it because I didn't want to infect anybody else. We still had
day 10 for me.
Delivered, groceries delivered and everything. But yeah, guys, feel free to check out the video I released on Tuesday. It's a really important one about a common Etsy scam that's been going around. After I released that video, tons of people commented and said, whoa, I just got that scam in my inbox. So make sure that you check it out. Yeah, it is a really big one. And I've already seen multiple people say, oh no, I just fell for that scam. So check it out if you haven't already.
We love you guys. Thanks for joining us. Make sure you check out any applicable links. Freebies are down below. Handmade Alpha Academy opens in 2 months. So
yeah,
get on the waiting list for that. It'll be great.
Yeah, if you guys, everybody always asks me if I do one-on-one coaching. I don't, but I have a full coaching program. It's a 9-module video program, but it comes with the benefit of me. You can email me at any time. And then if you have a question, you don't have to hope that I answer it in a live chat. You can just message it to me. And it's not one of these weird MLM course things that's cursing YouTube at the moment with people that don't know what they're doing. Yeah. It's a real course with over 1,000 members in it now. We're legit. And that sounds the least legit when you say something like that. We're legit, I promise. Look, all we have to do is say Handmade Alpha Academy in the chat, and at least 10 to 20 people at any given moment are here to say, like, I'm an HA. Yeah. So they can vouch for it. But there's a waiting list link down below if you guys want to check it out. Signing up for that doesn't obligate you to buy it. It just means that you get an email when we open, because we only open it for a 10-day window. We've got lives. We've got to be able to, continue creating content for you guys. And make sure you join us here every Friday. We're here every Friday, different topics. Sometimes we're just answering questions. Sometimes there's important things to talk about. Most of the time there's not. We just talk about what we can figure out. Oh yeah, and HAA doesn't upsell you every week. No, we don't upsell you on everything. HAA, if you buy HAA, you get any of our other paid things that we do for free, included always, until we release another full-size course, and there's a good chance it won't apply to any of you anyway. So anyway, new video Tuesday, live streams every Friday. And if you need questions asked a little bit faster and you can't wait till next Friday, you can also join the E-Rank live streams over on E-Rank's channel. You just search E-Rank on YouTube here and it'll take you right to it. Yep, every Thursday over there. Her and Pam Duthie. All right. I think that's going to be it. I love you guys, and we'll see you next week. Bye, guys. Bye. You got to wave. Oh, I do have to wave. It's been like this for like 6 weeks now. I know. Make an outro. Never going to happen. Make us an outro. Never going to happen. I'll make us an outro. She won't. I'll make us an outro. She won't. I'll do it. Not doing Twitch right now. No Twitch. Sorry, Gilligan.